Hey, how's it going, everyone? Booty Hole Buster here. So here we go. We're finally here. Took a bit of a long time, but I thought today was a better day to post it than any other day, honestly. The Teen Titans Go Jump Just 2 tier list. Now, if you've seen my previous video, you kind of know the drill. But basically, we're just going to be going over each character, just going over their viability. I'm going to be doing it a bit differently, as you can see. Kind of just laying out my cards on the table at the start rather than just like having you go through each one. I feel like it'd be a lot easier for you to, just see my opinion right away if you're just curious about that. But, hey, if you want to know my actual thoughts on each character, why don't you just stick around and drop a like and anything. See if you guys like this kind of content. I know this is like a tier list, so it's pretty easy to just throw out into there and just have people see it and everything, I guess. But, I'm genuinely interested if there's like a hidden Teen Titans Go community that I'm missing out on, because I've been playing this game a bit, and honestly this seems like a pretty concrete idea of the game right now. So how about we just get into it? So the basics are, for the game, if you don't know, you can jump and joust, right? There are 5 forms of attacking. You can do a jump while you can do an attack while standing. You can do an attack while jumping forward, while jumping backwards, and there's special moves and specials, or supers rather. The specials recharge over time, and it's pretty much the same time for every character, but every special is pretty much different, or slightly different from each, character. Like some of them are projectile, some of them are just area denial, stuff like that. And the supers are the same case. Some of them are similar, but basically are all different for each character. Have certain different applications or properties to them. But yeah, so I think the best way to start off is just go from bottom to top from here on out. So let's see. Yeah, bottom tier is gonna be these guys. I don't know how any other way to say this, but like, if you pick these characters, it's kind of like, I kind of see it as a death sentence. You're kind of going in there and just you're saying you want to lose the match, pretty much. They're not very good, is what I'm trying to say. Well, I forgot her name, but the bee girl, the bee woman, she basically doesn't really do good in any aspect of the game whatsoever. If you know about the last game, there's things like corner loops and stuff, like miscreant combos and all that. You can, characters with good special moves are really good in that game, good supers. And in this game, she kind of doesn't have really anything. Her best move with the best application out of all of her moves is probably her attack when she jumps backwards. And that attack is not even good on its own. And most of the other attacks, you kind of just will trade with the opponent 9 times out of 10, if anything. So either you're getting hit or you're trading, and that's pretty much it. Her special and her super are kind of easily avoidable from what I've seen. They're pretty slow. Her super, though, it's faster, but it's not really going to hit anyone, not going to hit into itself, not going to do anything really cool. The only thing it really does is that it helps her stay in the air after she does it for some reason. It might be a glitch, but I think it's intentional because she's a bee and bees fly, and that's all I got. But yeah, that's she's not very good. She's not very good. All these characters are kind of like in the same range, besides maybe blonde woman. I forgot her name too. I'm forgetting all these characters' names. Alright, let's see. I know Gizmo. Everyone knows Gizmo. If you played the first game, you definitely know Gizmo. Gizmo was the best character in the game, hands down. He was absurdly good. He had an infinite that he could do anywhere on the screen. If you watch Will It Kill, you've probably seen that combo that was posted onto that channel, and it killed that guy, and all of that was real. I know it was real because I was the one that was posted it. It was me. I did it. So that's probably why you all know about the combo in the first place. So yeah. But yeah, Gizmo was broken in that game. And in this game, it's the complete opposite. He is garbage. He got nerfed into the ground. Basically, his angle on his jumping attack is way worse. The screen being way bigger also affects his combo game because it's not as easy to reach the opponent with his attacks. So the angle change and the attack and the screen being bigger kind of makes it harder for him to get on people. He does have some good attributes. His standing attack is pretty good. That's it. That's all I can think of. That's all I can really think of. The jumping backwards attack can hit people, but like, that's it. That's all I can really think of. He doesn't really have a good like choice of moves. His special and super are pretty much the same thing, and both of them are really hard to hit on the opponent because they can just walk away. And Gizmo has no approach game, so in the approach game he does have is not even that good. Now, I believe Gizmo can do some mid-screen combos, but it's like very specific. You have to get really close on the opponent and do it. But then again, if the opponent lets you do that, then they're probably not touching the controller, so I'm not sure. Maybe someone can change my mind on Gizmo. If you have any other comments on him, you can write in the comments below. I'll definitely read them because I'm really curious what other people think about that. So yeah, I think Gizmo's not as good as he used to be, more than sure. So yeah, let's see. Mother Eye, I think that's her name. She's just not very good. Honestly, I'll probably put Gizmo above her. Yeah, because like she just kind of, I don't know, she just kind of doesn't really do anything. Like her best attack is her jumping forward attack, and that's it. At least Gizmo has like two I could probably say are good. Her special is kind of meh. You can jump cancel it, and you could jump and just throw it, and then it'll automatically cancel on the way down. But there's times if you do it too close to the ground, she just won't throw it, and it'll just mess you up. So it's kind of like, you just kind of have to figure that out mid-match. But after even knowing that the projectile's so slow, it's kind of really hard to do anything with it. I'm thinking, I used to think it was like something like Faust from Guilty Gear, where it goes up and you kind of can do improv stuff, like play around it and everything, and do some set play, but not really. There's not really any of that with her. She just kind of throws it, and you get hit by it, or you hit her and get hit by it, and then that's it. That's the worst thing that could happen. Most of the time, you probably won't get hit at all. Yeah, okay. Her super's pretty good though. If you get someone in the corner, they're getting hit by it, so that's nice. But that's pretty much it. Gizmo can't really do that. His super's pretty bad, so she can do that. He can't. That's good for him. Terra's probably the best of the bottom feeders, only because like she does stuff that other characters can't. She has a moves that she can spam, which is her backwards jumping attack, which was really good in the first game, and it's probably just as good in this game. So yeah, there's that at least, which is like, it's like a punchward upward, by the way. It's like a nice diagonal line that kind of hits on the way up and down a little. It's pretty solid move, but everything else she has is kind of meh, especially with the screen size being changed. She's not really scary as much as she used to be, so yeah, I don't think she's that good right now. I believe her special and super are the same thing, just the super is much bigger and the special is like a more convenient version of that, but like smaller. But yeah, there's that. That's pretty much it. She's not very good because she's like I said, a lot of these characters in the bottom feeders don't really have many tools that actually play around with, so they just suffer for most of the time, and it's not even fun to play them, which is the worst part too. I wish there were like at least fun low tiers, but it's not really the type of game where so yeah. Let's see. I guess we'll go into the next tier, which is They Aight, I guess. Well, the title says it all. They Aight, I guess. They're not as bad as the bottom feeders, but they're just good enough to be above that. What was his name? Mammoth? Mammoth is a shadow of his former self. He's also a character affected by the screen being changed. So when he does his uppercut, it doesn't cover like half the screen anymore. It only covers like, like a 25th of it. He's much smaller than what he used to be. He's like a little pixie compared to what he used to be, like honestly. His special and super are the same thing. Both have really good range too. Especially the super. The super has huge range. It's really hard to avoid that. But everything else Mammoth does has like no range, like at all. It's really hard to approach with him, and because he's not like a character that can scare you with his uppercut, he kind of just suffers approaching anything at all. So he kind of just relies on his special, I guess. He's like this close to being a bottom tier, but at least he has, So moving on, we're gonna talk about Batman. Batman is alright. He's pretty good. He has like some pretty alright attacks. They function. All of them are actually pretty solid, I would say. It's just that they're not like as good as other characters. His special, I believe, can get him out the corner for free, which in this game is actually pretty good because corner loops exist. So if you get caught in the corner with Batman, you have a way of escaping. I believe there's like one other character that can do that, and we'll talk about them later, but Batman is one of them. But the only problem is that his super is unusable if the opponent's not in the corner. If the opponent's in the corner, it's a guaranteed hit pretty much. But if the opponent is not in the corner, it's a guaranteed miss, because anyone who has a brain will just move out the way. I promise you, 100%. There's no way they're gonna move out. There's no way they're gonna get hit by it, is what I mean. It's pretty difficult to hit on people, like, for real. But yeah, that's pretty much all about Batman, I would like to say. His special also throws out a projectile after he disappears, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's move on to Aqualad. Aqualad is okay. The only problem is that, like, it's a little smidge problem. It's just that he has like one of the worst attacks in the entire game. His standing attack, which is a thing where he shoots a ball upwards behind him, it will hit no one. It's like Beast Boy's uppercut in the first game, how you would never hit anyone with it because it only hit above him. This is a worse version of that. Imagine it only hit above you, but it also hit behind you, and it would not have any hitbox in any sense of the word in front of you. So you're basically just throwing out a hitbox that's not going to hit anything. It's super obtuse. It's like you're never going to use it. So basically, Aqualad, what he does is that he jumps backwards and he attacks, and he does that over and over again to space opponents. And sometimes he'll jump forward and attack. That's basically his game plan from what I've been playing. You can probably play around with that really well, since like the backward jumping attack he has is like actually pretty solid, I would say. So you can use that and his jumping forward attack and actually get some games on with that. His special and his super are actually pretty good as well, so they're good. So you're playing with like a nice character, it's just that one of its attacks is just useless, literally useless. So yeah, don't use that move unless like there's one scenario that I'm not thinking of that I just don't know. I never played that matchup. So yeah, Robin's pretty good too. I feel like I should put him higher, but I don't really know what about him would call for that. He still has that awful jumping, like, what was it, jumping backwards attack, where he like goes on a grapple hook and swing towards you. That's punishable on hit. He still has that, and it's still just as bad. His special is also worse because there's no potential for it to hit multiple times. Before, it had some potential to hit multiple times, since he was throwing like 3 of them, but now it's one big one, which is good because since it's a pretty big projectile, it's pretty hard to miss opponents with it, because you can just jump and do it in the middle of the screen. Not middle, but like slightly higher than the opponent, and then like they'll always hit them, because if they jump, they'll get hit. If they stay in there, they get hit. It's kind of like a guaranteed hit in that sense away. So yeah, he has a pretty good super, I would say. Jumping forward attack is just as good, still really solid. And him having the projectile like as a tool for full screen is pretty good too. So yeah, I would like to say Robin is like a great character. It's just that one of his attacks is straight up useless. Like, you shouldn't just use it at all. But yeah, there goes that tier, and that's pretty much it for them. But now we're going on to the top of the crop characters. Now, not the actual top of the crop, but you know, the characters that are just pretty good. You actually might win a game with them. Like, really, like you have way more of a chance to win a game with these characters than anyone below them. What was his name? Scarface? I don't remember. Slade. Okay. Slade is alright. He has one of the best specials and supers in the game. His special is like really hard to miss on opponents. It's like surprisingly huge hitbox. And it goes out pretty fast too. His super is like the fastest super in the game. Goes full screen, and excuse me. It's the fastest super in the game, and it goes full screen, so it's really hard to miss people with it. It's like a guaranteed hit pretty much. You're not going to avoid it. And yeah, the best attack he has is probably his jumping backwards attack. Everything else he has is pretty solid. I just think he's like much better than people below him. I would probably say, like, should I move this? Maybe. Robin does have the projectile, but no, Slade is like, he has that projectile that's a little better. And the super too. Yeah, and you have to set up like Robin does, so he can just do it. Okay. But yeah, I'll just do that. Superman is a very specific character. I would say you would pick Superman in like super specific matchups where like the person you're fighting wants to jump a lot and the best attacks are where they're jumping at you. He has like a really good anti-air with his like laser eyes. Really good anti-airs in general, really. He's the man of disguise, I guess, so it fits his character. His special, what was his special again? I think it was just like he just scraped the ground or something. I don't remember. I'll put it on screen. But the super he has, that's the one I really want to talk about. That super makes him invulnerable because, you know, it's Superman, right? But that super makes him invulnerable for the whole time, meaning if someone does a super against you, you can just do your own and win, and you'll always win. I don't think it hits twice. I think it only hits once. I've never seen it hit more than once. But yeah, I think that's a really solid tool for someone to have, just the actual reversal. Even though it's a super, it's just like, it's a tool he has, and I think that's really good. So yeah, he's pretty much a defense-oriented character, one of the few in here. So yeah. Brother Blood is pretty solid. I probably would say he's like the most like mid-tier of all the mid-tier characters. He kind of works in the sense that he has really good disjoints, or really, all of his attacks are pretty solid. His jumping backward attack is pretty much like a slightly worse version of Aqualad because it's pretty easy to whiff it for some reason. It just kind of goes through people sometimes. Pretty solid special. But the only problem with him is that his super is really good. His special is okay. His special is okay because it only really works in the corner against characters that don't really have disjoints. If a character has disjoints, that special is useless because they'll just hit you and then you die and has like no range. But yeah, he can just. I think his range is pretty solid, and it helps him a lot with like a lot of matches. Even if like you're at a disadvantage, I think he can come out on top somewhere somehow. Raven is good if the opponent wants to play your game. If the opponent doesn't want to play your game, or you try to play some other game, then you lose. But what I mean by that is, Raven is really good at zoning and keeping people out. She's not really good at getting in on people. The only way she can really get in is doing a forward jumping attack, immediately attacking, like after the jump, and then just doing that over and over again because you fall like immediately after. There's not really a good way to advance with her because her jump is so floaty. But yeah, you kind of just have to zone people out, throw out your special, and just make sure that they're playing your game and you're not playing theirs. Her super is also okay. Good at catching people like in most situations and disjointed as hell. So yeah, it's great. I think it's great. The Flash. The Flash is, in my opinion, a great character, but I can't really see him being anywhere above this tier for the base tier. Mostly because like he doesn't really excel in anything. He just is a pretty great character. His attacks are really fast, really good anti-air. His standing attack is a really good anti-air actually. It feels like it's really disjointed. I'm not sure what the hitbox is though. What else is there? He doesn't really have a projectile of any sort, but thankfully his special allows him to switch sides. So if he can like avoid something, he probably can just use his special and just avoid it. His super is really hard to counter. The only one I could probably imagine countering it is like Superman because he's literally invincible. But you know, I can't really say that because maybe there's something I missed. You know, that's pretty much it on that. Cyborg is solid as well. All these characters are pretty solid. I've been saying that over and over again, but they're all really solid. They're just all really good. Cyborg is just like really good at hitting people in the air because his jumping forward attack is extremely fast, but hitting people on the ground is pretty difficult. From what I noticed, it kind of whiffs on every other character if he jumps forward and does the attack. So because it doesn't match the actual animation, so it'll just whiff on people. Before it used to fall with it and then it'll hit, and it was like really good, but not really. In this game, super and special are the same, but that being said, it's really good that they are because the projectile itself is excellent at hitting people. He's really good at playing defensively and can probably play offensively if he plays his card right or guesses right. So yeah, I think like whatever Cyborg gets like weak at is not really a big issue for him because he just is solid in every aspect, but doesn't really excel in anything. Speaking of excelling, let's get into these characters. Now, I think these characters are amazing. I think they're great, and I think they're super fun to play too. All of them. Maybe not Painbot or whatever. Painbot's kind of cringe. He's like the Game & Watch of this game. He's kind of cringe. But everyone else, I think they're pretty cool. Harley is really cool. I thought she was like okay at first because well, her special and supers didn't really catch my eye. Her only thing I noticed was their forward jumping attack, which like I believe got past shot. I swear it had invul or something, but right now it doesn't. It just kind of rolls forward and she hits you with her attack. And yeah, you can hit her out of it and everything though. It's pretty hard though because her hitbox becomes really tiny. But if you combine her forward jumping attack with her special and super, it becomes like this set play god that you find yourself just getting hit by in combo mid-screen for no reason. Like they'll throw out super, you'll avoid it, it'll come back, and then you'll have to avoid it again while avoiding a special and Harley Quinn herself. So there's like 3 things you're trying to avoid on screen. So she just like the probably has the best projectiles in the game. That's what I can say about that. And she has a really good attack type company that. A really solid anti-air and standing attack in general that allows for corner loops as well. And let's see, what else is there? Her backwards jumping attack can really be okay. I don't really remember it though. I'm probably not that good. I'm not sure. Let's just move on. Okay. Painbot is a character that is kind of cringe. I only said that because he has one attack that's really notable, and it's his claws, which is his jumping forward attack. That move is extremely disjointed. It stays out for 2 years, and it hits like it can corner loop on its own. He can corner loop with his standing attack, I think, but his jumping forward attack is so good that it just corner loops as well. So you can just corner loop people with it, like distance people with it. It's really hard to advance on him if you don't have like a special or something that's like makes him scared or something, you know. It's really hard to just play against him. He'd probably be higher tier if you just play with him like a bad person, but he's down here because I think like, hey, chill out, you know. And these people are probably better than me. Starfire is just as good as she used to be, if not better. They try to nerf her special or super because in her super before used to hit twice and do 3 damage, making it the strongest super in the game. But now it only goes forward once. I think it also does 3 damage, but the thing is though, she also has a special which is similar and it goes like a pretty good speed for the game. You kind of just dash at someone, and if they try to jump over you or like do pretty much anything at all, like trying to hit you, the chances are you'll hit them instead or cross them up, which causes you to do insane like cross-ups with Starfire. And if you get caught in the corner, she can do like backwards corner loops on you and just go ham pretty much. I've had times where I play against the CPU Starfire and it would just be horrible because I would have to react to their special, and then they would just hit me with their standing attack, and I wouldn't be able to do anything because the attack is huge. If I'm too close, it's just you die. You get hit by it twice. If I'm too far away from them, they jump forward and do laser beams, which again, just like before, if you get hit by her standing attack mid-screen, you can combo into the jumping attack and get 2 hits. So it's like a legit combo for her. There's those 2 things, and if you get caught in the corner, you get corner looped, so you die. So she's just as good as she used to be, even though like they tried nerfing her super. She didn't need the super. Like the super was just icing on the cake. Now she's just the way she was before, but with an extra tool. So yeah. Also her jumping attack, backward jumping attack exists also. That exists. Yeah. Beast Boy. Now Beast Boy, oh my god, he got the works, baby. They took note. I think they took note on Beast Boy in my previous video because his uppercut now hits on the sides, and it's so good for that. It can do corner loops. It's actually pretty good anti-air. It's like, man, that's pretty much what you can do in this game. But yeah, like it's super good. It's super good. Oh my god. That attack alone, I think, like, is worth it. His velocity on his attacks in the air are also different. I noticed. It makes doing his frog attack a lot more useful, like giving him a nice disjoint for mid-screen. His forward jumping attack is, you know, same thing from before. Just you can't go as high with it, so it's not really as hard to, you know, advance on people with it. Because it was really weird that was so floating in the first game, in my opinion. So now I think it's like much better. And him having a special seems really good, right? But the special he has now, okay, I'm pretty sure the special he had now was the Gorilla Charge, and the Gorilla Charge is great because once he charges forward, it's super hard to avoid in certain situations, and it can lead to more combos in like the corner and stuff. So what you normally do with him, from what I've experienced, is you do, if you get the special hit, you go into the super if you have the super. If you go into the super, you get another hit. And if you get them into the corner, then you can do a corner loop and then they die. It's like a huge, nice sequence. You can probably mix it up with doing like jumping forward and then doing the cheetah instead of the actual Gorilla Charge or anything like that. And then doing the super. So there's definitely ways to go about it. But like, I honestly think he's like a great character now. Like, I think he's amazing. Especially with more tools and his actual jumping being more consistent and good, better for his kit. Jinx is another character just as good as she used to be. I probably actually do this real quick. Yeah, this is probably better. Jinx is probably way better than what she used to be. Because, well, basically she's pretty much the same thing she was before, but with projectile. Then that's pretty much it. She has probably the second best projectile in the game. Right next to, like, I want to say, like, Slade's Mines, or, Slade, not Slade Mines, Harley Quinn Bombs, probably the second best projectile, because it stays out in the air for so long. It's like Raven's, but actually has, like, a nice little arc that you can still pressure people with, and with her speed and, like, huge range on her standing attack, it's just, you just demolish people if you catch them at the right time. It's actual destruction, pretty much. But she's also really fun too, like really fun to just like jump at people and just find the ways to do cool combos and cross-outs and everything. So yeah, I think she's like a really cool character, but like, you know, definitely a top tier, 100%. Yeah, like you're picking her to win it, but also have fun. I cannot say the same for the man above, which is Trigon. I feel like this is so obvious if you play the game for more than 5 seconds, or you try to play the story mode and you got the Trigon at the end and had to unlock him. It is hell. This is the only way I can describe it, and it's fitting for him since he's you know, Trigon. He literally, in every sense of the word, is broken. He has a disjointed jumping attack, a disjointed standing attack, a disjointed jump backwards attack. He has disjointed everything, right? But that's not the worst part. The worst part about it is that when he does his jumping attacks, or any of his attacks whatsoever that are disjointed, they act on their own rather than being connected to the character. Now, I don't know if you know what this like makes it. I don't know if you think this makes any sense. I don't know if this is like not coming off as clearly, but basically, what that means is whenever he does a attack, it's not connected to his animations. So if you hit him out of his animations, the attack is still active. So that makes his ability to actually trade even better than what it was before. Because anytime like someone like say, I don't know, Batman did an attack and it wasn't disjointed, you would trade. You would get hit or the opponent get hit, or you trade, and then that's it. Trigon will always trade. He will always trade with the opponent, no matter what, if you're playing right. So basically, anytime you would hit Trigon, it would be a trade, which is not a big deal, right? That doesn't sound like it's a big deal. Like, oh, it's a trade. Just get one extra hit on him, and then like you basically win the match. Like you can just go crazy on him. His attacks are disjointed, so that means most of the time, you're not even going to get that trade. So, say for instance, right? Say for instance he does his forward jumping attack. That attack will hit you from the top of his jump if you're standing on the ground. Meaning, if you don't do anything or have any defensive options, like against him, or if you jump forward, if you jump backwards, if you like stand still, do nothing, unless you have a defensive option, you get hit by the fist. You get hit by the fist and you have to take the hit. If he gets this like 3 times, it's pretty much GG's because you lose. Every time you would get a hit, it would be a trade anyway. So yeah, and if that's not good enough, his special is a teleport. A teleport that hits like on the way like out and is a defensive option for him. So yeah, he is absurdly, undeniably the best character in the game in every sense of the word. Like, wow, he's probably banned from any tournament, I would imagine. Like, clearly he's the best, like, without a doubt. Like, oof. But yeah, I would imagine like he'd be banned from like any sort of competitive play. So if there's any tournaments about Teen Titans Go Jump Joust 2, use this video as an example and ban this guy so the tournament can actually look good. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much my whole tier list. If you have any other thoughts, any other contradictions to any other the points I have on this video, then feel free to put down a comment and I'll just say something about it probably. Just don't, but make sure it's not like, I disagree and then don't say anything. Make sure you explain your point, I guess, but that's all I can say about that. But hey, also subscribe if you like this content, because I do like making content. It's just that I'm a busy guy. I just want to make sure, you know, people are out there just really like this kind of thing, and you know, I like the support. It's pretty cool. Pretty nice. Awesome, based, amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much it though. Have a good one and stay safe out there.